Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. This is a look at our market leading stocks for expiration Thursday, April 17th, 2014. So definitely figure that into the mix. That Thursday is going to be a day before a long weekend and expiration day, so it's going to be probably a relatively low volume day, but perhaps even low volatility. So we'll have to see what they have on tap for us. But let's take a look at the scans to see what they say. Right now in the NASDAQ patch, we're about balanced off between buys and sells. Do have a couple of upside CPS conditions, which could always be interesting. Google, it's pretty strong today, about 2.5% above the day's open. Nice little volume bump there. That's got an upside CPS condition. Broadcom also has an upside CPS, but hasn't really made any headway over the day's open. That's why we're starting to see a little conflict here, and could wind up with a conflicted close. Right now, there's a lot of stuff is down in volume. I think some people are already kind of done with what they had to do ahead of the holiday. So definitely be prepared for some lighter volume tomorrow. BlackBerry volume's way down. That's 2.5% below the day's open. That's the only legitimate deviation we have for price today. Looking at the financials, not a lot here. Paired off as far as signals go. We do have a couple of volume bumps. U.S. Bancorp is pretty weak, and that's got a volume bump. Huntington Bancorp really weak, almost 2.5% below the day's open on volume. And we got a volume bump in Bank of America. A lot of the banks are pretty sloppy today. Sallie Mae's the one that's the standout. That one's trading pretty well. MasterCard and Visa are both trading pretty well, and Visa's got an upside CPS condition. Energy names are a little bit better to buy. Valero, BP, and ACI all have upside CPS conditions. Valero's got a real strong day going here. This is going to be a big candle on the daily chart. A little less than 3% above the day's open, so that's going to be grabbing some attention overnight in the scans. RIG, notably weak today. That's 2% below the day's open. Moving on to the generals, here's where we see some weakness. We got a couple of downside CPS conditions, but there's a lot of reverse pressure signals. So could see a little choppiness, a little sloppiness in the generals tomorrow. Nice volume bump in UNH, and that one's losing pretty good ground today. It's relatively a low beta stock. Housing names, nothing doing here at all. Got a downside CPS and NVR. We've got one upside RPS and Hovnanian. The transports a little better to buy. FedEx, Norfolk Southern, and UNP all have upside CPSs. Couple of volume bumps here. CSX, NSC, and UNP all showing volume bumps. So keep an eye on the transports tomorrow. Commodities are pretty weak today. Downside CPSs in a lot of these names: Barrick Gold, Freeport, Silver Wheaton, Newmont. All precious metals names indicated to the downside. Freeport, not so much precious metal name, but they do have a gold component. U.S. Steel also has a downside CPS. Nothing's on any really extreme volume except for Monsanto, and that's not a metal stock. That one actually is posting a downside RPS. Alcoa, the only thing with some volume that's going to the upside here. That one does have an upside CPS. That one's almost 2.5% above the day's open. All right, folks, as always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.